Welcome to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Crock, and every Monday we talk to a different community member here in North Idaho. And then we end our weeks with something I'm passionate about, the adventures, outdoors, and sports. So follow along to hear some amazing stories and meet some very interesting people. I have Cole Turnbull with me today, and I am so excited to talk to him. A local realtor, entrepreneur, impact club leader. This guy does a lot of great things in our community and really gives back. So thank you, Cole, for being here. And tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing.
Thanks, Tabitha. Yeah, so actually, it's funny. It's kind of comes full circle. I do on Advice Givers. So that was a couple of years ago, but we yeah. So I mean, I do real estate. Brother and I just actually opened up a new brokerage here in town. It's
Cool.
more or less it's called Back 40 Real Estate. We're focused on more of the investment side of realty and land.
Cool.
Kind of expertise there, but yeah, so we do that. I also do property management, more or less focusing on the short-term property managements. I got 5 Airbnbs that
Cool.
run here in Coeur d'Alene and one in Rathdrum, and then some buddies and I are in the middle of remodeling a house out in Wallace right now that we're yeah, so that's been a quite the challenge. 1943 house out in Wallace that it's fun. I mean, that's kind of one, to get your feet wet and really kind of get moving. I've helped investors here in Coeur d'Alene and stuff get properties renovated. What we've been doing a lot is we're taking a lot of the longer term rentals, especially like the downtown Coeur d'Alene, that are more prime for Airbnb type stuff, and we've kind of been flipping them with the concept of not not fixing them up to sell them, but fixing them up to Airbnb them. So
That's so
originally, when COVID and all that stuff kind of hit, that took a pretty big hit, but all in all, it's really rebounded. We're starting summer's pretty much. I think I was looking yesterday. I think we're about between the different properties on average, we're about 75% booked for the next 2 months. So that's starting to take off. So we're like, hey, let's maybe run this idea and try it out on one of our own deals out, and then it just came up that the one out in Wallace, he said, hey, we got ski resorts and all kinds of recreation and stuff out there, and there's some Airbnbs out there, so figure, hey, we'll give it a shot, and we'll do this model, and we got some plans. It's actually a double lot, so we got some plans in the making of what we're gonna do with the other lot, kind of depending on what we roll with on this, how this Airbnb kind of takes off. But it's pretty exciting. We should have it done here in the next couple of weeks. So
that's cool.
Besides that, yeah, and then Impact Club. We got Impact Club Coeur d'Alene. Actually, our next event's coming up on June 11th. That'll be our 12th event. So that'll be 3 solid years of Impact Club here in Coeur d'Alene. Since we launched it, we've donated $116,600. So it's really been cool seeing that kind of take off in our community, and all the nonprofits and stuff that are able to benefit from everybody coming together and donating $100 to the joint cause, seeing everybody just join. $100, like that's the thing I always talk about, the Impact Club.
That's my favorite part about the Impact Club. That's what I was going to say. Explain to people that don't know, this part is pretty powerful. Your $100 becomes $10,000.
Yeah. So, I mean, the premise of it's really simple. there's a lot of people that have $100 that they can give or donate, but a lot of times you don't know, like, who do I donate $100 to? Further, what's that $100 really going to do? I mean, when it comes down to it, like, it doesn't really make a dent on, if you're donating like individual, person or cause or something, GoFundMe's. I think that's kind of where like the $100 donation really comes in handy. But especially now, I know I was watching one of your past videos, and I think they were talking about how the nonprofits, I think, are really gonna probably see the biggest hit that nobody really thinks about from kind of the economy being shut down there for a while, because people tighten up their pocketbooks and stuff. So Impact Club, everybody pledges to donate $100 a quarter. That $100, we pull it together. There's all the operating costs are covered by our team, and so all the money that comes in goes out. So on average, we're averaging right around that $10,500 to $11,000 donation every 3 months. So it's been really cool, being able to see everybody come together and pool your money. And the event's short. This time it's a virtual event because we have 114 members, so we can't have the big party that we usually like to have at Patty's. But it's an hour long event, and everybody gets together. Speakers of 3 charities that get to present. They get voted on by the members. They vote the charities, and then we do a drawing basically that says, okay, these are the top 3. Are they eligible? So if you've won in the past 6 events, you're not eligible to present again. And or if you've presented and you didn't win, you have to sit out 2 events. So we kind of just go down the list just like that and say, hey, okay, this is the next 3. We got 3 great ones lined up, for this week, or for this next week that are coming up, that I'm sure they'll all be hugely impacted by being able to receive hopefully $11,500 donation or somewhere right in that ballpark. So
right. Well, and the thing is like some of these nonprofits that I've seen, you guys have actually helped, like smaller nonprofits, that $11,000 really goes a long way for their nonprofits, which is really cool, because there is some big nonprofits that $11,000 is great, but you guys have served some smaller nonprofits that I think have made a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And we always have, in the events, we always invite the previous winner, to come back and kind of share, like, hey, like, your money went to this, and
Right.
and that sort of thing. So, there's been some nonprofits and charities around that, and even those that don't win, they get a benefit because they get you get a platform of 100 plus people. Plus we have a video crew of, to come out and film all the events and stuff, and check that out at impactclub.com, and just, go back and look at the events, and they can use those events, to further carry their message on and show people. There's been a lot of charities that I didn't know existed, that have come and presented. And I always kind of like, we don't announce, who's presenting at the events until the members show up to the event, and we give them the ballot, and then they see. But I always kind of like, oh, this charity is probably gonna walk away, with the money.
Right.
And I'm wrong so many times.
Well,
Because it all comes down, to that 5-minute story, and whoever tells that best story and touches the most hearts in 5 minutes wins the votes. So there's usually a lot of tears shed and everything else, but it's cool.
Yeah, and a good storyteller, like it's pretty amazing to watch some of these people talk about how what their nonprofit. I've learned so much just listening to some of these people. So what you guys are doing is fantastic. So if someone wants to become part of Impact Club, how would they do that?
You just go on, type in impactclub.com, and we got a link up on the top of the page there. Join a local club. Everything's done through the site there. All the donations are done through a platform called the Giving Group. They're a nonprofit that all they do is handle funds basically for charities. So they're kind of the middleman. They do have a small fee. It's like 3%, that either the members can say, hey, we'll pay it, or Impact Club covers it if members don't want to pay the extra $3. But it makes it really nice. When we started, we were collecting, I think our first event winner was New Beginnings of North Idaho, and I remember we had like $9,000 of cash, just like in like a box at the front door, Patty's, and it's just like anybody wants $9,000. All they got to do is basically walk in and say, give me money, and then it's a bad day for everybody. But so we kind of help solve that problem by doing everything, and it makes it nice too, because then if you got something going on, you can't make the event or whatnot, hey, that money is going to come out on the 8th of the month of the event on schedule. If for some reason, money's tight or whatever, you got other expenses, there's the option of going in and, hey, I'm going to sit this one out, not donate. You don't have to leave Impact Club, if you want to sit out an event. But yeah, it's been cool. We got, I don't know, coming up. Whoa, sorry. I got a chicken farm over here. My dog's messing with them.
Sorry, I had someone knock on the door midway. I was like, oh, FedEx is here.
Yeah, no. So, you get out there and you don't have to go to the event. You can just come donate the money if you want. I personally love the events. I'm pretty bummed that this event's, going to be virtual because they'll, 50 plus people and packed into an event. But hopefully the next one we'll be back in rock and rolling in person. But they've been running. Ryan Fletcher, who's a co-founder with Impact Club, he's been running the virtual Impact Club for 3 years now or so as well. So they've got it. Luckily, they've got all the ops and everything figured out on that side of things to make the transition to getting everybody's votes and speakers and all that kind of stuff figured out for our next event. So that makes my life a little easier.
Yeah, it's always the people that are good at what they do. They just stay in their lane. It's awesome. Then you can do your thing. They can do theirs. It makes it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
So a fun question. Favorite restaurant in Coeur d'Alene?
And my wife and I go to Satay usually when we go on date nights, and I like Satay. There's some other good ones too, though. It really depends.
Yeah, it depends on if it's breakfast, if it's dinner, if it's then you.
Yeah, personally, if it was up to me every time, I'd just probably go to Wolf Lodge or something, and get a good steak. But she's not all that crazy. She's more into the actual date, I think, romantic scene.
And that's perfect setting.
Yeah, Satay, they got good food and it's right down the street. So
exactly. Favorite music?
Eric Church.
Oh, I've seen him twice in concert, so it's good.
Whenever it's we're listening, it's like having maybe a little bit of a rough day or whatever. Every morning my alarm goes off. It's Eric Church on through Spotify or whatever I've set off on my phone for my alarm, and so that's who plays my music every morning when I wake up.
That's awesome. So what would be one piece of advice you would give a younger you?
Man, I just say don't be scared, to do the things that you want to do and that you enjoy. Going out there, I've been doing real estate now since 2013, so seven years ago, and kind of dipping into the real estate. I started out as a graduate from Arizona State and came back, and when the economy was going through shambles, in 2008, and like, what do I do? Went back, worked at the resort during the summers, and I worked at the resort up through my first year of real estate. So another 5 or 6 years after college, I was valeting and you know hauling luggage up to rooms and paying the bills, and it was a great job and got a lot of good life experiences out of it. But more or less is like, oh, can we do real estate and that sort of thing. And now more recently it's kind of been more of a pivot from realtor to investor, which is a whole nother scary thing, where you're like, now all of a sudden we're taking on these projects that I've always you see on TV and you watch, and it can be a little nerve wracking. Like, what if nobody comes? Or same thing in Impact Club. It was like, hey, like, we have this idea, we're gonna launch this. I hope somebody signs up, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, all of a sudden you got 90 members, and you're trying to figure out how to get them all their T-shirts and how you're going to collect, funds and get all the charities. And it's just like, oh, you just kind of figure it out as you go. So I think fear is kind of a sign to say go. Every time it's like, is this house and walls we're working on? Is this really a good idea? It's kind of out of our neighborhood a little bit, but it's you learn every time you go. And I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen, as we get done with it, and it's like, we got plan A, plan B, and plan C. Plan A is Airbnb, plan B would be long-term rent, and plan C would be to flip it and sell it. So just go. When that little voice is in your head, just put it to sleep.
Yeah. Who's your biggest inspiration?
Man, that's tough. It has to be my mom. She passed away back in 2017. She went through double lung transplant, and so 4 years after transplant or so, she fought and battled, and we lost my dad when I was 3 years old. So going through, basically, she remarried and got I had a stepdad growing up most of my life, but she was always like the rock, of the family, and like her attitude, it lives on. Like, I could see it in my daughter, I can see it in my niece. Like, it's great. And just seeing, like, she was always like, hey, I gotta be a grandma. And she made it 6 months. So,
and your daughter is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
I look forward to your Instagram videos because they're always entertaining.
Yeah, she's a little firecracker, salt and pepper, a little fire and ice. She gets a lot of I think she gets a lot of her attitude from her mom. But her mom and grandma say that she's like this spitting image of her as a child. You never know what you're going to get from 1 minute to the next. But yeah, so we got a boy coming in August. So
congratulations.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So I'm kind of scared for him personally, because he is going to be his boss for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was that sister too. So yeah, good luck.
You were the older sister?
Oh yeah, my poor brother.
Yeah, just like, no, you do this. This is how it's gonna be, and yeah, run them through.
Mm-hmm. So what is the one thing you've missed most? Like, I know Idaho, we're lucky that things are starting to open up. We feel a little bit better. What was the one thing you really missed the most during the shutdown?
Man, it was actually just being able to kind of go out and meet, go have a beer with my buddies, and go sit down at a restaurant. Like, you don't really think about, it's always something that it's so easy to take for granted, that you can just go down the road and have a nice dinner or burger or whatever, and call up a buddy and, go meet him for a beer. And all of a sudden that just like, bam, goes away. And you start going stir crazy, especially you got a pregnant wife she's dental assistant. So she wasn't working there. And, you got, it was, definitely being able to just kind of
relationship builder
escape, and see my buddies.
So how can people support you right now?
Right now, really, I mean, Impact Club, I think is probably, the easiest, best way, to kind of get involved with what we got going on. Every person's $100 just makes us that much, stronger and able to donate, to continue to support the nonprofits here in town, which, like, as we said before, I think they're going to be the ones that are their all their fundraising. We were saying, sorry, I got a chicken that jumped out of the coop and the dogs are messing with it, but all the
North Idaho for you.
Yeah, North Idaho, we're trying to be chicken farmers, so they're that $100, just compounds and continues to compound, and those nonprofits are the ones that have definitely suffered the most. I know the Children's Village, we talked about that. They had a really successful fundraiser there, but that money doesn't continue, to come in, and especially where a lot of these people in nonprofits, I from what I've seen, usually they're fundraising a lot of their auctions and all that kind of stuff. They're usually about this springtime, in March, April. And so a lot of that stuff I think is kind of missing. So I would say, number one, to join Impact Club or do what you can to help support these local nonprofits, because their issues and problems aren't going to just go away. So
perfect. Well, thank you so much. I think you have chickens to tend to.
Yeah, if I can get these labs and not eat them.
Thanks so much, Cole.
Thanks, Tabitha.